with another Theater Thursday. Every Thursday I do a movie review. This time I'm doing Cadet Kelly with Hilary Duff. That's my cat. Ignore him. But I'm doing Cadet Kelly with Hilary Duff, and my cousin suggested this movie, so I'm going to be giving all my critiques and my thoughts about it. But if you have not seen this movie, even though it's older, consider this your spoiler alert. Take it in. Okay, there it is. Blunt and to the point. Okay. But Cadet Kelly is all about, well, this girl named Kelly, but she, I'm going to show her bookmark in a minute, but it's all about, this girl named Kelly. She lives in New York with her mom, and her mom, where her school is, it's like very I don't want to say hippy-dippy, but it's like free, your typical school, like very free and very, it inspires art and music and that, type of, artistic life. And see, her mom, her parents right now are going through a divorce, but her mom is about to get remarried. And her mom, the guy she's marrying, she's about to get married to this guy who is I guess you could technically call him a general. He's he's kind of because he's like the principal of a school, but it's a military school, so he's like a general. And so, because of that, Kelly has to move from where she is to a new school, and of course, it's a military school, and they think it'll be good for Kelly because Kelly is very accident prone. She causes accidental problems, she's constantly knocking stuff over, breaking stuff, and she thinks that strict environment will help her. So they move to this new military school, and of course she doesn't fit in. She doesn't fit in because she's so inspired by fashion, and she's so inspired by color and freedom that obviously she sticks out like a sore thumb because everybody's all stiff and proper and all about the rules, and she doesn't understand the rules because she's never been in a military school. She wouldn't know, and she had nobody to teach her. She was just kind of just thrown in, and they call her a maggot, which I guess is the lowest ranking of, I guess, in that army type persona, because there's private, general, whatever, but they call her a maggot because she's the lowest and the newest kid, and they told her that she has to follow the rules, that she has to zip it and listen, don't tell your opinion about stuff, and as long as you do that and listen to the general, you'll be fine. But unfortunately, her commanding officer, Cadet Stone, is really mean. She's really strict. She has it out for Kelly for some reason. She doesn't, they really butt heads, but I think that's because in a way they're so similar. They're both very stubborn about what they want and what they need, so they kind of just bump heads, but they end up teaming together because Kelly ends up helping with, my mom says you call it a baton twirling. It's in the military. They have these classes where you spin and twirl guns and throw them in the air, and you have to catch them, and and you show it and you compete in these competitions. She calls it baton twirling. But no batons. Obviously, it's guns. But she ends up helping them because they give her what they call a scut job because she's disrupting class, and she's tries to make everything fun and not so saluting and so strict. But when she does that, obviously they give her the job, and then she sees that there's actually beauty in this military school, that there's actually art and in a different formation, even though it's strict and colorless. It's not, no, it's not the same, but it's still art in a way. It's still there. So she decides to try out for that baton twirling class, or that baton twirling competition thing, and she has people help her to train for that. And then she finally gets in, and then she gets a uniform. But the commanding officer Stone doesn't like that she's in the team because she's always been the leader. She's always been the one that they go to, and she's afraid that Kelly's gonna I don't know how you'd say this, tamper with the backbone of what this school is, discipline and being strict and stiff and everything. But so one day they're practicing the moves for the competition coming up, and they end up practicing together because Kelly wants to show her that she could be just as good as she thinks that Stone is. So they end up battling against each other in the field, like doing this dance, because this one other team did it, and so they tried to copy it by doing their own thing. And then then one of the other people that is on the team, he says, "Oh, you guys should do more of that because it's different. It's unique. We need more of that." And then they train and train and train, and I guess they do that, and then, but on the day of the competition that it's supposed to happen, her parents are supposed to be there, both her, her mom, and then the general dad, but then also her dad, her real dad. But for some reason, he's not there, and she's calling him a bunch of times, and she's like wondering where he is. And so the stepdad asks what's wrong, and then she says, "My dad's not here." And then they go out looking for him because he was supposed to be at this like mountain peak, like taking pictures because he's a professional photographer. And then they go looking for him, and then they find that he slipped off the cliff. Not that he got seriously hurt, but he slipped and he fell off the edge, and he fell on a stone next to it. And so she has to save him by tying herself to like a tree, like I guess you call that not rock climbing, but that that descending type thing. And then so she saves him, and then they get to the hospital, and then she both accepts that both men, both her dad, like her biological father, and that her stepdad are both like very important men in her life. They're her dad, That was like a big step in the movie. That was big acceptance, saying that kind of she accepted the stepdad into her family and a bunch of other stuff. But they went to the hospital, but then she goes back to the competition, and then the Cadet Stone is like, "Where were you? We had to go on without you." And then and then the general explains, and then she actually gets a new, she's putting her suit on, and she's like, "Oh, were you going to call me ma'am?" Because she was about to call her Maggot, because she gets kind of, in a way, promoted from being called Maggot because of the general. And then, so they end up doing their dance, and they have ribbons and, fabulous music, and they dance, and it's all fun. And then when it's time for judging, unfortunately they don't win. They, they get second place, which is the highest they've ever gotten, but they didn't win. And, they're like, "Oh," but she's like, "Oh, but next year we'll do it even better." And then Cadet Stone is like, "Well, it's going to be the last year for me because I'm moving." And then she says, "But I'm glad that I got to train you, Maggot." And then Kelly hugs her, and then they all do the last salute, and that is when she technically becomes Cadet Kelly. See, this is why I waited for later, because she doesn't become Cadet Kelly until technically the end of the movie. But overall, it's a good movie. It says keep pushing, no matter how tough stuff can be or what people are gonna try to push you down, keep trying to say, "Hey, I'm just as good as you are." But if I had to rate the movie 1 out of 5, I'll give it like a 4.5. It's not my, I don't know, I'm going to say it's my favorite movie. It's just like one of those good movies up there. But I definitely recommend it for you guys if you guys have kids or if you are a kid, blah, blah, blah. But moving on, that's it for this video. If you have any suggestions, write down in the comments, like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!